Hey guys, welcome to another new Let's Play here on Around the World Sports. This is Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 2022. And as you can see, we are going to take over the Orlando Magic. Those of you who haven't seen this game before, Draft Day Sports, series of games made by Wolverine Studios. They've got basketball and college basketball and pro football and college football and what else do they have? I think there's a golf game. It's just a ton of fun for those of you who like the sim-style games like I do. I think this is my fourth version of pro basketball. I've played the heck out of previous series. This came out in early release last week, and I jumped on it immediately, downloaded all the mods, which for someone who's pretty computer illiterate like me, the way that these mods load is easier than anything I've ever experienced. You literally click on the zip file, you dump it into the folder that the game belongs in, and voila, you have pictures and graphics and logos and everything else. So absolutely phenomenal game, a whole lot of fun, and we're going to try to win it with the Orlando Magic. So I was choosing between the Magic and the Houston Rockets, and I settled, and we're going to go through the team here really quickly in just a minute. We'll look at some of the other things that you can do, and maybe we'll get through our first game or something here in this first episode. But I took over the Magic for two reasons. The first was, if you look at their roster, they've got a handful of pretty solid young talent. Like, you can build around Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Jonathan Isaac, Franz Wagner, and Wendell Carter Jr. I think that's a pretty solid five. You can see it's a star rating from 1 to 5. So you got 5 3.5 star players who are either current 2.5 or 3 stars. So you got some good young talent here. And then they also have some contracts that are expiring at the end of the year. Main one being Gary Harris, 30-year-old or 27-year-old 2-star shooting guard. Terrence Ross contract is up next season. Mo Bamba is somebody that we might bring back. Robin Lopez contract is up. Markelle Fultz is up in a couple of years. But these are all players that potentially have some value that you can move on from, or just renounce the rights and free up some cap space. So my thought is we're going to have some good young talent, as well as some players that we may be able to trade for assets down the road, and potentially help us with some drafting as we move forward. So let's go back to, we'll look at that in a second. I didn't want to go to staff. I wanted to go to the dashboard. And I named myself Penny Hardaway just because I love me some Penny. So if we go back to the roster, so 2 point guards, Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs. You can see you've got your inside shooting, your jump shooting, free throws, scoring, passing, handle, offensive and defensive rebound, defensive rating, blocks, steals. What is this? That is drawing fouls, discipline, IQ, and endurance. So from a scoring perspective, we got 5 players who are all slightly above average in Carter, Isaac, Anthony, Suggs, and Wagner, really the 5 players that we're going to be leaning on. Carter and Isaac would be, actually, Jonathan Isaac's probably our best all-around scorer. You can see his inside shooting. And this is on a 1 to 100 scale as well. 75 inside, 68 outside, 77 free throw, 57 scoring. So, a very good defensively. So he's probably good for, 15, 16 points a game. He's only 24, signed up for 4 years. Wendell Carter's going to be our main inside threat. 83 inside shooting. Not a bad contract at all, given that he's only 22 years old. He's a double-digit scorer, potentially rebounder as well, coming over from the Bulls last year. Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs is an interesting combo in the backcourt. You've got Cole Anthony, who's an okay shooter, pretty good ball handler. Jalen Suggs is a better shooter, not quite as good a ball handler. So I think, given the way this team is currently constituted, Suggs is your starting shooting guard, Anthony's your starting point. Then you've got the rookie Franz Wagner, who is just a terrific shooter, so he could be one of the better scorers on the team. Yeah, so it should be fun. It should be pretty fun to run through this. Mo Bamba really good inside defensively. He's pretty good as well. So we've got some talent. We've got some players that we are looking to move on from. So you got Chuma Okeke, 23-year-old, 6'8", 230 pounds, signed for this year and next, and he's okay. He'd be a backup. Inside. His outside shooting's not terrible. Pretty good ball handler for a big guy, but he'll be sort of a backup big man. Michael Carter-Williams is kind of there as the defensive stopper. I mean, he's not a great shooter, not a great scorer, but he can play solid defense. RJ Hampton, first round pick a year ago, will back up at backup shooting guard because his passing is pretty bad for a point guard. We talked about Mo Bamba. Terrence Ross, pretty good shooter, but at 30 years old, 2.5 stars, will likely look to move on from him. Markelle Fultz, the backup point guard. Everybody knows Markelle Fultz and his history. He got the shooting yips, traded to Orlando in 2019 and put up a decent year. Put up 12 points a game. He only played 8 games last season, but 12 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 rebounds a year ago, 12, 5, and 3 the year before that. So might not be a backup point guard, but we may also move him with his contract. Mo Wagner, just, more depth, another shooting, big man. Robin Lopez with his crazy hair, more of an inside threat than anything else, but brings that kind of team leadership. Gary Harris, that's the one bad contract, but it expires after this year. So, if we renounce his rights, we can potentially clear up $20 million in cap space. And then Ignas Brazdeikis, 23-year-old out of Michigan. Again, looks like a okay scorer, but probably more of an 11th or 12th man. So that's the team. We already looked at the contracts here a little bit, but we'll go back and take a look at them again. So for this year, Harris is our highest paid player. He's off the books next year, along with Mo Bamba. So we may want to talk to Bamba about bringing him back. Robin Lopez is off the books after this year. Michael Carter-Williams off the books after this year. We've got a bunch of rookie options here that we need to talk about. Suggs, Wagner, Anthony, Okeke, and Hampton. We'll probably pick up the rookie options on all of them. Isaac is signed for 4 years. Carter for 5. Fultz for 3. Ross for 2. We'll probably look to move on from him as well. And then from there, and I don't want to get into too much of just look at my scouting in D-League. I don't want to get into too much of the how-to with the game. That's something we can kind of, those are out there. That's not what this is. So you got your depth chart. So we will look to set our our rotation here before we get started. Strategies. This shows you kind of where they'll focus the most based on the type of strategy you have set. I kind of like pace and space because that's going to give you a lot of that outside shooting. We could go, I don't want to go post focus. Grind focuses on ball movement. Yeah, I don't think we have a lot of great passers. So I think pace and space makes the most sense for our team, given what we have. We have specific player instructions that we'll mess with as the season goes on. So if we look at Wendell Carter's shot chart, for example, and he's taking too many outside shots, we can tell him to stop, and we give him an amount of time to do that. You got your defensive strategies. I kind of like going with switch defenses on pick and rolls and that sort of thing, so we'll go with that. Insights, there's nothing there yet. It's team stats and what have you. And I think that's about it. I want to go to scouting. They changed scouting a little bit. Scouting used to be set up in such a way where you would focus on a particular region. You didn't focus on the Northeast or the West Coast or whatever. It's set up a little differently now. So you've got either your U.S. regions or your international regions. And really, you see here it tells you. So quick rating, scouts provide a 1 to 5 star ranking. Scouting reports, they provide a short description of the player, play style, breakdown of floor range and ball actions. Basic ratings provide a letter grade and basic categories. And then a deep dive, the scouts provide notification for under and overrated players, which might be nice, but I don't think off the bat I don't want to put 150 points into that when I can do this. Ooh, I can't even do that. Okay. So we've got 231 points. And I think some of that is based off of my ratings. So if you look at my ratings, let's go back to, we'll go back there in a second. So I have it set on the MVP level. So my ratings start off quite bad. You can see 49, 49, 42. And again, this is out of 100, 47 and 39. So as we get better, these ratings will improve and potentially we'll get more points. So that means we have to change what we want to do here. So quick ranking. So how do we want to do this? So I think basic ratings is important because you want a letter grade in the basic categories. Quick ranking. So we have 106 points. So if we do that and then this. Provides a breakdown of floor range and ball actions. Or is it more important to do? Yeah, we can't do that. So we can do, I think, let's do this. So if we do that, we can't get the quick ranking. So we won't get the 1 through 5 star rating, which actually I think this probably makes more sense. The star rating is great, but I feel like scouting report play style and the ratings will give us a better idea of what the players look like. Or let's see. This is a difficult decision because once you set it, you can't unset it. So 1 to 5, short description of the player. Yeah, I think this makes the most sense. This gets us some international information. We'll run like this year, and then maybe next year when we get more points, we can put it into scouting report. Let me know if you think I should have done that a little differently. That's, I think, how we're going to handle that. What else do we want to take out? Let's take a look at the depth chart. All right, so the depth chart. So as I mentioned, I think I want to go with Suggs as my starting shooting guard. So I think the first thing I like to do is just fill all of the starters in for 48 minutes and then sort out the subs after that. You got two ways you can do this. You can either set it minute by minute like this, or you can come up here to the top and set by minutes and tell the matrix how many minutes you want each player to play, and it will do its best to fill in this matrix based off those minutes, which actually might be the way we do it. Let's try that and see how it works. So Anthony and Suggs will play 32 a game. Isaac will play 34. Wagner will play 32. And Carter will play 30. So Fultz I want playing 24 minutes a game. Bamba I want playing 22 minutes a game. I'm gonna have to move Gary Harris up in the depth chart here because it only lists the top 10. So Carter Williams will play 18 and Okiki will play 16. So let's see what that does for the matrix. So it's actually not bad. You can see down here there are a couple of red dots where you're missing a player. So here we're missing a small forward. So that's a good place to plug in Gary Harris. We're missing a small forward here. It's a good place to plug in Gary Harris. A small forward, a small forward, a small forward. All right, so Gary Harris gets a little bit of playing time, which is fine. He's not a big part of my future, so I don't really have any issues not playing him very much. And that's how. Oh, it didn't plug Fultz in there at all. That's interesting. Interesting. All right, so we got to get Fultz some minutes, which means we're going to have to move these guys around a bit. which is fine. Oh, it listed Carter Williams as the shooting guard. I'd rather have Fultz playing than either Carter Williams or Ross. So let's do this. So let's go point guard, 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 point guard. Shooting guard, shooting guard, shooting guard, shooting guard. Ross only at 4 minutes a game. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I might switch this around a little bit. I like having my starters in there at the end of the half and obviously at the end of the game, which they are here. But, the way this is set up, you're running... I guess it's okay that you run with an all-bench team occasionally. So we'll just start with this and see how it works. So you store this lineup, and you can restore it anytime you want. You could suggest. I don't want to suggest because it'll undo it all. But this gets us it has Mo Bamba playing. Yeah, it's fine. So, yeah, so that's our depth chart. Let's see, what else do we want to take a look at? What do we have in our office that's interesting? Nothing yet. It tells you what our goal is. He's okay with rebuilding, and he wants to keep Jonathan Isaac. We're not sending Isaac anywhere, so that's not a problem. You can call players if you want to talk to them about things. I don't want to do that right now. We can trade players, and I think right off the bat, we are going to stick a couple of players on the trade block. And they've changed the trade block up a bit this year in such a way that's pretty neat. And we'll take a look at that in a second. But I want to get all these guys on the trade block first. Anthony, no. Brzezikis, Carter Williams. Yeah, he's only making $3 million, but we'll put him on the trade block. Excuse me. I would say that I would edit that out, but I think we both know that I won't. So... we get Ross on there. And the other thing you can do is you can add them, and then you can hover to see if anybody's interested in trading for them. So highlight Terrence Ross. Option, player name, option not chosen yet. I did. What am I doing wrong? Can you just do it this way? There we go. All right, so you can see right there. So you click the name. So Memphis and San Antonio has an interest in Gary Harris, Michael Carter Williams, the Pistons and the Lakers. So we've got some players who have some value, so we may look to move them over the course of the year. So we leave those players on the trade block right now, and we'll see if we get any bites from them. We've already scouted the draft, or we're going to scout the draft, and I think that's about it. League media is going to give you you've got your news and your season news, draft guide. There's nobody there yet. That'll probably show up at the beginning. That'll likely show up at the beginning of the year, I would imagine. Because we're still kind of in that pre. Yeah, there's nothing here yet. All right. So if we advance, it's going to set up the G League, or in this case, the D League. Patient while this process completes. All right, so is it there now? No, it's not. It's still got to do the draft, and I think that's what this email is. Yeah, so here's the draft. So we'll go ahead. It will set up our G League team. That is now set up. And we advance, it'll import a draft class. If you have the college basketball version, you can export from that and import into this if you want to. I've never played the games at the same time to kind of line them up, but that's a really cool feature, I think, to be able to, if you're playing a college basketball save, you can draft your favorite players and that sort of thing. I think that's pretty neat. So we'll just do default, and we'll let it draft or create its own players. And a couple other things I want to, and again, this isn't like an intro into how to play the game, but there are a couple other things that I want to show you within each player's info page. So once this is done and it finishes loading that, I will show you that, and we're going to get started. There is no preseason, so it goes right to the regular season, which is great because I don't think anybody cares about preseason games. All preseason games do is run the risk of your players getting hurt, and there are enough injuries in this game. All right. So again, the mods are fantastic. It lets you download all the graphics and the pictures. Pictures were courtesy of Chris over at GM Games. Thank you for all your hard work, Chris. So you can see here it tells you that they're in a contract year. It tells you if they're happy or unhappy. I don't know what these other ones are. It should tell me if I hover over it though. It's not showing up. All right, well, let's look at Jonathan Isaac. So you go to oh, he was a bad example. Let's look at, I'll find somebody who's a good example. Here we go. Franz Wagner. You can see you got these different player types. You've got, he is a sharpshooter. This one is a, I don't remember what it's called. This is a defender. This one is, I think, a bucket getter. I think this is what this one's called. So you get different player archetypes, which is kind of neat. Does Jalen Suggs have one? He is a sharpshooter and an attacker. Cole Anthony is an attacker. Mo Bamba. I thought he would have been. Oh, I guess he probably isn't. Is Michael Carter Williams a defensive one? Yeah. He's a defender and an attacker. So you can get these different player archetypes, which is kind of neat. Just adds additional flavor to the game. Within each player's page, you've got their bio, their profile, which tells you their coach relationship, the team relationship, and the organizational relationship. Gives you their career stats, game log for this season, staff report. So this is what each one of my players thinks, or each one of my coaches thinks about Carter Williams. Tells you who he is, or what they think of him, kind of his player development. And then you've got rating progressions year over year. So some interesting stuff in there. So we're about ready. I guess we can play our first game of the year, and then we'll sim maybe through the end of October just to get a little bit under our belt here. Here's the main page. You have your league news over here on the right. Actually, you know what? Let's take a look at free agents. Let's see if there are any free agents available that we may want to sign. So Johan Bagarin is a Celtics draft pick. He's only 20. Good ball handler. Rarely forces a bad shot. Solid outside. Solid free throw shooter. Good vision and passing skills. I think we sign him. Yep. And we'll sign him to a two-way contract, which means he'll be on our, which means you can have him on our G League team to kind of develop some skills. And he's only 20, so we'll sign him to a two-way contract. And is there anybody else that we want to sign? Obviously, some younger players would be the way to go. And usually I look, if I'm looking to do this, I look for somebody who has one skill in particular. Like I look for somebody who's good at scoring or somebody who's good at defense. Somebody that can bring in as that, 11th or 12th man that can fill a specific role for us. But it doesn't really appear as if there's anybody here that's all that good at anything, really. Yeah, I think we're good with just picking up, and you'll see here he's now going to be on our roster listed as a two-way player, so he'll be in the G League for now. But we now have a ton of depth in our backcourt. So moving on from Michael Carter Williams, Gary Harris, even R.J. Hampton wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. So we'll sim, and you can see here you've got league stats on the side. You can either play or watch any game. Obviously, we'll just sim through the games that aren't ours. Our first game is on the 18th, which is tomorrow. So the Clippers beat the Lakers on opening night. So you can see we've got our first game here against the Cavs. So we will sim, and it will come to our game, and we will set the AI control. We're not going to change much. and we are going to jump into TD gameplay. So you've got your starting lineups: Garland, Sexton, C.D. Osman, Love, and Mobley. For us, Anthony, Ross, Isaac, Wagner, and Wendell Carter Jr. So we'll go to tip-off, and we will just let the game go. So we can move up the game speed a bit, and we will go. Actually, let's pause for a second, and we're going to disable the game sounds because that's really loud in my ear, and we will go. And you can see what's going on down here. So Darius Garland hit a three. We missed a shot. They hit another three, so we're down quickly 6-0 here. There's a bucket for Wendell Carter. 9-2, 3 threes for Cleveland right out of the chute here. Isaac is called for a charge. Why did that stop? I don't want it to pause. It stops. Let's go. So off to a slow start here. Down 9-2. Down 11-2. Shots are just not falling for us here early on. Not good. 14-4. Wow. Cleveland is red hot out of the gate here. 20-4. 23-4. Let's go. There we go. We finally get a three. See if we can cut into this lead a bit. We aren't playing any defense. They've scored 27 points in 6 minutes. We get another three there to get us within 12. Another three for Cleveland. You got your stats down here on the left and right. So Osman's got 12 points. We've cut the lead to 8, though. Ross has got 9. Anthony, 5 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds in the first quarter. Lead back up to 14. We had it down to 8. Missed three-pointer by Wendell Carter. I don't want him shooting threes. Wendell Carter taking a bunch of shots for us. We're down by 16 again. Had that lead down as low as 8. It's a 13-point lead. Giving up 42 points, 44 points in the first quarter. Wow, not a good first quarter of action defensively for your Orlando Magic, as we give up 44 points. They're at 50 a minute into the second quarter. Let's play some defense here, guys. Lead is 14. So we're not going to play many games, at least not right off the bat. We'll probably play games that are, if there are any sort of important games, which I can't imagine there will be many of in the first quarters. We're down by 20. In this first season, I can't imagine there are going to be a lot of important games. So we'll likely sim through most of this first season, and then as we hopefully get a little better, we can start to sim or start to play a few more games. Down by 21 points. We're going to give up 70 points in the first half. Yeah, we had the lead as low as 8 in that first quarter, but then Cleveland just blew us out of the water there towards the end. It's down to 15 now as we get 6 straight. 67-50. Offensively, we haven't been bad. We're going to put up close to 60 in the first half ourselves. 54 now. Anthony, 13 points, 7 assists. We're down by 13 with 2 minutes left. Down by 11. It will pause at halftime so we can take a look at the stats. They hit a 3. The 12-point lead. We get a stop here before halftime. We can. All right, so we go into halftime down 72-60. And you can see here are your halftime stats. So we're allowing them to shoot 55%, including 55% from behind the three-point line. Kevin Love has 21 points, 4 rebounds in the first half. Sexton with 11. Osman with 12. He had 4 threes in that first quarter. Evan Mobley, 8 points in his debut. Garland with 5. Denzel Valentine with 7. Jared Allen with 4, Rubio and Okoro with 2 each on our side. Terrence Ross led us with 15. Anthony and Carter each had 13. Wagner struggled in his debut, 3 points. Isaac, 6 points, 4 rebounds. We get 6 points from Bamba off the bench, 2 each from Okiki and Suggs. And why is Suggs not starting? Did I forget to save my my matrix? I'll have to look. At any rate, we go, and Fultz didn't play at all. So I don't know what's going on with the matrix. So we'll go back and we'll take a look at it once the game is over. But let's get through this one. So Cleveland gets the ball to start the second half and score right away. We get a 3-pointer from Terrence Ross. We're down 16. As Wendell Carter scores. Yeah, I may have forgotten to click save on the matrix. I'm not entirely sure. But I wanted Suggs starting, and I wanted Fultz as the first guard off the bench. So we'll see. 82-69. We've played even with them really since that the first 6 or 8 minutes of the game, where we just got down, by a huge amount. We've played even with them over the last 2.5 quarters, really. Just as I say that, they go on like a 6-0 run. 2 missed free throws. There's a 3-pointer from Ross. (91-74). Lead is back up to 19. Back down to 16 as Carter Williams hits a 3. We just haven't been able to go on like a really substantial run. It's been back and forth. We get down by 19, we cut it to 12, we go back down by 19, we cut it to 14. It's been kind of that type of thing. So we're back down by 18 again. Make it 20. And we're going to get blown out here at home on opening day. We're down by 20 going into the 4th. Bamba hits the shot. Down 16. So we'll take a look at the matrix, and then maybe we'll sim, like I said, to the end of October, which gets us a few games into it and allows us to kind of take a look at stats and whatnot for a handful of games anyway. Missed 3-pointer by Mo Bamba. Okay. There's a bucket by Ross. Lead is back up to 16, back down to 13. Ross had a good game. 25 points for Terrence Ross on opening day. Lead is down to 10 all of a sudden. Make it 8. Got to get some more stops, though. We get another stop. The lead is down to 6. Wow, look at this comeback, guys. We are down 4 with the ball. There, you get a basket to go back up by 6. Do we have enough to nope, lead is back to 8. I was hoping we'd have enough to complete the comeback, but the lead is at 7 now with 3 minutes left. We turn it over. The lead is 10. That should just about do it here. $119-110. Valiant effort, valiant comeback by your Orlando Magic, but just not able to get over the hump. We just fell too far behind. We got the lead down to as little as 4 with the basketball and just couldn't get it done. So we lose this one 124-112. Kevin Love led the way for Cleveland with 31. All 5 of their starters in double figures. Sexton had 21 points, 10 rebounds. Osman had 18. Mobley 12, 9, 5, and 3 steals. For us, Ross led the way with 28. Good game for Anthony, 17 points, 12 assists. Wendell Carter, 21 and 9. Isaac, 11 and 13. Wagner stuffed the box sheet, 9 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Suggs only played 13 minutes, and Fultz didn't play at all. So I'm not really sure what's going on there, but we will take a look at our matrix and see what happened. So this will sim to the next day. We look at our depth chart, and it reset everything. So that must have been my fault. Yep. All right. So Carter Williams is probable for the next 5 days. He's out for 3 days. That's fine. So this will reset things for us. That was apparently my fault. So we will save. And I'm going to pause real quick, and then we will come back, and we will finish October. Hang tight. All right. We're back, and let's... so right off the bat, I made a mistake, and that's because I am a professional content creator. So let's sim ahead. And you can sim more than a day at a time. I just like simming a day at a time. You can tell it to sim ahead, however far you want. But I like doing a day at a time because I like going back and looking at each box score. That's just the way I play the game. Chris Paul scored his 20,000th point. Game 2 for us is against Trae Young and the Hawks. We lose 112-94 in that one. So Suggs got to start at 15 points. Fultz off the bench at 22. That's what I like to see. Not much else good happened. Anthony had a good game, 12, 7, and 6. Young at 35. Yeah, we were down big again at the end of the first quarter, so we got to get off to better starts. Charlotte's 3-0 out of the gate. So we take on the Raptors now on the road. An invalid roster. That means we have an injury. So we go to our depth chart. Who is hurt? Suggs is out for 1 day. So we will swap Suggs and Fultz, and we will plug in that. We will do this. I mean, for 1 day, this is really like mindless, so I'm not going to go through and do the whole thing. Actually, Harris can come in and play some of these minutes. We'll let him play this game, and then we'll just go back to the old matrix after this one. So the Magic taking on the Raptors. We lose 99-80 on the road, so we drop to 0-3. And I didn't anticipate we would be very good this year, so this isn't a surprise. Wagner with the donut, although he does have 9 rebounds, a double-double for Isaac, 16 and 12. Anthony has 15 and 9. We'll sim ahead to our next game. We get a notification and a trade rumor. So sources tell me that you've been letting other GMs know that Gary Harris is on the trade block. Is that true, and does he know it? We are going to admit it. And this will either give the player a positive attribute bump, or a negative. For Gary Harris, his effort increases and his attitude increases. He's pleased. He feels like he can relax a little bit more, so that's great. If we go back to the depth chart now, we should have our boy Suggs back. So if we restore our lineup, puts everything back the way we want it. And we'll keep going. What do we have a game on this day? We do not. Yes, we do. We did. I just saw it after the fact. So we're taking on the Knicks at home. Can we pick up our first win of the year? We cannot. We lose again, 121-110. And I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of losses this year, but that's fine. Again, the whole plan is to trade for assets for the future. We aren't going to win this year, but we have some talent that we want to build around. Carter off to a decent start, 14, 5, and 8. We'll look at stats at the end of the month. So keep simming. Home against the 4-0 Bucks, and another loss. We lose by 21 points here to fall to 0-4. So for us, we get Carter leading the way with 18 and 9. Isaac had 13. Carter Williams 10. Fultz 10. Bamba 12. Antetokounmpo 27 and 17 for him. That is a good basketball team, folks. We got back-to-back games here. Home against the Nuggets and another loss. This time we lose by 19 to fall to 0-6. So this first season could be pretty quick, guys. Isaac, Carter, and Suggs. Suggs has 18. Isaac 19 and 7. Carter 17 and 6. Not much going on off the bench. Bamba had an okay game. Jokic had 25. Porter Jr. had 24. What day are we on? We're on the 29th, so we're almost through October. Let's get through this last game on the road at the Thunder. And we lose again. This was a close one. We lose by 6, though. Wagner with by far his best game, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Anthony with a double-double. Suggs played well. Carter, 14 points on 4 of 10 shooting. Ross with a good game off the bench. SGA, 40 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists for him. And we are not good as we come to the end of the month. We were up by 19 points at the end of the first quarter, and we were trailing at halftime. All right, well, we will take a look at that in the next episode, but if we take a look at the standings real quick, you'll see that we are at the bottom at 0-8, or 0-7, second worst record in the conference behind the Pistons, who are 0-8. If we look at our stats, just start with points. Wendell Carter leads us 15.3 a game, almost 8 rebounds. Terrence Ross is 14 off the bench. Cole Anthony, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Good start to the year for him. Isaac, 12 points, 7 rebounds, a steal, an assist, and a block and a half a game. Stuff in that box sheet. Jalen Suggs, the rookie, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Mo Bamba's averaging 10 off the bench. Fultz averaging 7, 2, and just under 3. Wagner, 7, 4.5, and 5. Yep, so we got some changes to make. Hampton hasn't played yet. Harris hasn't played yet. So it might be time to see when we come back right off the bat what we can get for Gary Harris and some other players. We get Hampton out there a little bit too. So that is the start to this Let's Play, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if there's anything I should, because like I said, I've been playing this game a lot, but I certainly wouldn't consider myself an expert. So if there's anything I'm missing, please let me know. As always, guys, I appreciate the support. With it being the first video, drop it a like, please. Let's defeat the algorithm, as they say. Drop the video a like, subscribe, comment below, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.